Greetings. This is SkySaunders saying, "What's current?" And this is going back almost 30 years, but it's still relevant to today because Sean Diddy Combs is still locked up behind bars, and the allegations from his closest associates have painted a picture that would warrant him to be held accountable for his actions. And in this particular case, it's his involvement or non-involvement with uh, his alleged close confidant, the late great Notorious B.I.G. Christopher Wallace. It has been said that he hid in a trunk and was escorted out of L.A., Los Angeles, when Biggie was gunned down in a drive-by shooting. So I am exploring this because I thought it was interesting. I had to go with Diddy, and it's very pressing to say all these words because Diddy just it just gets worse and worse and worse for him. It's like his nightmare is the American nightmare. Like his whole idea, his whole representation has been completely besmirched and set asunder, has been torn apart. So I would say that he allegedly let me see from the story. I'll just read from it. The lawsuit asserts that Diddy quickly reached out to veteran music industry fixer Clarence Levant. He died either last year or a few years ago. He was like they called him the Black Godfather. He arranged and put together certain circumstances for black artists in Los Angeles and the Hollywood Hills and different things like that. But back to the actual quote. Rather than staying in Los Angeles to comfort Wallace's grieving family or assist the Bad Boy staff through the traumatic event, continues. Avant, utilizing his considerable influence with high-ranking LAPD officials, allegedly arranged for Diddy's covert escape from Los Angeles. So there's a lawsuit. It's just another lawsuit. It says Diddy allegedly hid in the trunk of an LAPD cruiser to secretly escape Los Angeles moments after the murder of famed rapper Notorious B.I.G., according to explosive claims made by former Bad Boy Entertainment co-founder Kirk Burrowes. So we're going after this is the top brass. These are the closest associates of his that are making these statements, that are making these allegations and lawsuits. Burrowes is a co-founder of Bad Boy, so that's like his best people. The people that are closest to him are they're showing their hand. They're showing that Diddy can be talked about. He can be talked about. Excuse me. So, with all that being said, Diddy it's not looking pretty for Diddy. I mean, no matter what, what do we got? We got 2 months left. We got 2 months today. 2 months. I'm telling you, time marches on. The cliche goes. Time waits for no man. Another cliche. Time flies when you're having fun. I mean, I remember like it was just yesterday, and they first announced that Diddy was arrested. And this brings me back. Oh yes, it does bring me back. But I think with Diddy being such a colossal figure, like I said from the jump, this is the first episode of the Diddy is Innocent. Diddy's Innocent saga. The saga continues. It lends itself to a a broader spectrum of ideals, with what Diddy really stands for. His whole empire is crumbling right before his eyes. It's almost dust now. But we got 2 months, May 5th, exactly 2 months to today. May 5th is when we will see what is really going on, what's really good. So I do appreciate that. The fact that he will get his day in court. He will have the ability to adjust to the climate of the legal system once again. How it plays out in the court system. So I think that's extraordinary. I think it's very vital to hip hop, to aficionados and people within the genre of hip hop. I do appreciate it. So Diddy is innocent until proven guilty. He hasn't been proven guilty yet, therefore he's innocent. Doesn't mean he's not guilty. He could still be guilty, but it has to be in a court of law. Once a court of law says that he's not guilty, that means that he's not guilty. That you can say he's guilty all you want. You can say, you have the freedom of speech to say he did it. He did it. He did all those things. But this trunk case is very intriguing. It seems like a movie plot. Like, I was wondering what happened to, and it's funny how that I came across that story written brilliantly by Grouchy Greg Watkins. I've actually met him. He's a great guy. He lives in Delaware, I think. He was in the Delaware, the Glasgow Park where I frequented at once upon a time. Great guy. I got some pictures with him and everything. He's a cool kid, cool guy. But he writes brilliantly as well. I think with these different stories, it just keep adding up into this bizarre, weird picture. It's like David Lynchian, rock and power to David Lynch, but this Lynchian kind of imagery of just weird and strange, happenings that are, going on underneath, this veneer of this entertainment mogul and this, helper and friend to the people that were under his label. And we all know he has courted great criticism from many of the artists that were under his imprint, Bad Boy Records. He wasn't very accommodating to a lot of them. He didn't try to make sure they got their publishing rights and their residuals, and I would even say their masters. They even have access to their masters, much less own them. How does that break down? How does that figure out? That's what I want to know. So but this trunk story is interesting because it shows how there was a rift. There was an alleged rift between Biggie and Puff. They look like friends on the outside, but there was something very, suspicious on the internal side. They acted like they were brothers, like they were cool. Biggie put them in his music. Yeah, who us? Yeah, Papa and Puff. Like stuff like that. P Diddy, Run the City or something like that. That was all Biggie, but Biggie said on multiple occasions, or a few occasions allegedly, that he was trying to get away from Puff. He was trying to get to another label. I guess maybe Puff wasn't really having that. So, but and then it blows up. Like you have that number one song, "Missing You." Sting still gets, I'm sure, residuals from that song, and I don't think Diddy got one red cent off the recording of the song. Maybe he got it off, maybe from touring, maybe from radio play or something like that. But The residuals, I think, stay with Sting of the Police. I can't remember his full name. Let me make sure I get it, Sting's full name. This is a very, very distinctive name. Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner, also known as Sting. See, I told you it was special. He got 4 names. Gordon Matthew Thomas Sumner, English musician. So he's a Brit. So it's up in the air. It's very delicate situation with Diddy. What is he thinking right now? There was a race riot at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, United States of America. So that occurred. It was Luigi Mangione and Diddy were sectioned off because one guy's white, the other guy's black. I don't think they had any involvement in the riot itself, but they were sectioned off allegedly and essentially, and that just carried on from there. It just kept going from there. But I want to remain on this Trump case. It seems like a Diddy move, just slick and slippery. You can't get to me, He did his damnedest to escape it, but like I said, he had the #1 single for like 6, 7, 8 weeks, something like that. Missing You. You couldn't escape the video if you watched the MTV. You remember the time he breaks on the motorcycle and he spins out of control and he goes off to the ground and he comes up and he starts rapping. It's kind of hard with you not around. Know you in heaven, smiling down. All that fly fancy stuff. And he performed at the VMAs. He was like, yeah, and remember, yeah, Princess Diana. Yeah, everybody that lost somebody this year. Let's go. Come on. Put your hands together. He was into it. He was into it. But that's like the facade. That's all the facade. That's all. That's what we get outside. Like, yeah, Diddy, he's a great entertainer. He's a bang up guy. He's great. Then we see Cassie video, and it's like, is this the same guy? Is this brother love? Is this love? Is this the same guy? Now, of course, I mentioned before, they can't use the Cassie video in court. They can't use that in any shape or form. It's part of a non-disclosure. It's been settled and sealed, and it's not part of the process for litigation against Diddy. However, somebody could bring it up. Somebody can talk about it. I'm sure they have that right. I don't think the litigators can. I don't think the prosecution can talk about it, but they can suggest, cajole, kind of bring out a little bit, kind of get somebody, reel them in, get them to say, well, what is the worst thing you've seen of Diddy or something, just like something like that. Like, what is the most, graphic scenes that you've seen from Diddy? What do you think is the most horrible things he's done? Like, they could say something, slick like that. And that could be admitted as proper diction in the judicial system. But this Trump case though, man, Clarence Avant, they called him the Black Godfather. He did deals with so many people. It's too many to name. Too many black people. His wife was murdered. What was that about? Was there any connection there? I don't know. That's all alleged. He recently passed away. Let me make sure. It was either 23 or 22, something like that. 2023, August 13th. So almost 2 years ago. So almost 2 years ago, we're talking about, and it's a sad shame. It really is a sad shame. I mean, it's a crying shame. When you have all of that, when you have everything in the world, everything going for you. You're coming out of the United States of America. You're representing New York City. You have one of the biggest careers of all time. Hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank. Beautiful women throwing themselves at you. What'd you do? Allegedly. What did you do? What did you do, Diddy? This trunk stunt really, it really it really not personifies, but it exemplifies who Diddy is. It gives him, it symbolizes his character. Oh, I gotta get out of here. I can't. I'm not sticking around for this. I'm getting in this trunk. I'm getting out of here. And this is all alleged. It's all allegedly. Burrowes has said it. He's a co-founder of Bad Boy. That's when you know things are going real left for you. Things are going very left when your cohorts, the people that you grew up with, the people that you founded companies with, the people that you know or good with, they're coming after you. They're saying all kinds of things about you, saying things against your name. That's when it gets serious. That's when it gets real. So that's the part of Diddy's story that has to be explored and explained. That he was in the trunk of a police cruiser to get away from the heat. Is that I mean, is that kosher? Are the streets going to respect that? Like, yeah, he got in the cruiser. I doubt it. Get in a police cruiser. Something I would probably do. I'm with the cops. I'm with the FBI. Forget that. I'm getting out of here. But what is Diddy's quote unquote street cred? What is his way of dealing with it? How has he brought to the fore his ability to become even more of a mainstay in the hip hop landscape? What does he have to? What is the substance of his whole catalog, his whole idea? Is it all washed now? Has it all gone to hell? Has everything fallen from the has the bottom fallen out, and he's eating food with maggots infested meals. He's used to stuffed pheasant with truffles. He's used to eating quail. He's used to eating, is it king crab? I think it's king crab or Dungeness. Whatever one is more extravagant. And caviar and shrimp. He's not used to this. This isn't part of the plan, or wasn't part of the plan, I'm sure. It just happened. No, it didn't just happen. He made all this occur. And, the being in the trunk, it's almost like a metaphor. At that time period, the cops could protect him. He got out of LA real quick. They brought him to a private airport, and he went to New York, I think, after that. And just in a matter of minutes or hours. He didn't stick by. He didn't stand by. He didn't comfort. He didn't hold anybody's hand. He didn't wipe any tears away. He was just like, I got to get the hell out of here. I gotta get in the trunk. Get me in this trunk right now. Let me go. I'm gonna read a little bit more from the story. In a particularly striking detail, the lawsuit alleges he was reportedly transported to a private airport, that's what I said, via the trunk of a police cruiser, allowing him to leave the city undetected as local gangs searched downtown Los Angeles for him. So self-preservation. Like I said, that's something I would do. That seems very selfish. That seems very self-interested. It seems very egoistic. It seems rationally self-interested to do what he did. Would he agree with that? Would the people at large agree with that, given our estimation of selfishness in our culture? How we denigrate and deny and, totally misrepresent what it actually means? Is that part of, what Diddy's whole modus operandi is? To be selfish? Is it selfish that he ended up in a detention center? Is that selfish? Is that in his own self-interest? Where is the rationality in that? Where is the selfishness in that? If you truly care about your own self and your own being, how would you end up in a metropolitan detention center in Brooklyn, New York, United States? MDC. How is that selfish? Is that how self-interested are you? How rational is that? Because that's what self-interest is. People say, I was just watching a TV show. You're so effing selfish. So effing selfish. They don't mean that, oh, you're so thoughtful and, ego driven and, consider yourself and your preservation of your own mind and body, and you want to do great things and achieve. No, they mean you're a low down scoundrel that's willing to kill and murder and steal from anyone and everyone, even your own parents or your own, children, to get your way. That's the picture that is painted with selfishness today, sadly. Because that's not what it means. Selfishness is rational self-interest. It is concern for one's own interest, but that doesn't give a moral statement. Morally, self-interest means that you value yourself and your mind and your whole being so much that you don't even consider other people before yourself. But you do, in a society, trade with other people. You trade with them, value for value. It doesn't have to be money or goods. It could just be, respect and admiration, honor, trust. But that's secondary. The primary is the selfishness, is the self being examined. It's the self being made possible in this world. And Diddy is far from being selfish. He's not a selfish person, obviously. He's eating maggot-ridden food. He's getting caught up in race riots. I mean, where does that go? How do you even start with that? What happens with that? I don't understand. I just don't get it. It makes no sense to me. It's really a shame. Because he was like a half of everything. He was a half a producer, half a DJ, half a dancer, half a rapper, half an executive. But you put all those halves together, you get a prominent, very committed individual. Even that's maligned. That word individual is maligned in our culture. You can't even say, oh, he's an individual. No, he's just a person. Can't say individual. That's too. That's a slippery slope. You're going to go to selfishness where you're talking about individualism. You're talking about just the self. I remember in the United States Marine Corps recruiter experience, recruiting. Well, not recruiting. I should say the recruit experience. They said everything is this recruit. You can't say I, me, mine, myself, mine, or anything or anything that's a pronoun regarding yourself. And it's just nonsense. That's just nonsense, obviously, because once you get to the once you graduate from the school, it's like the idea is still there. It's in the blood. It's in the Marine blood, but it's not. You don't see it on the face. The face is saying, "Oh, yeah, individual. Okay, great." But in the blood, it's like, "Oh, individual. No, that's not great," because they're afraid that people are going to say, "Hey, I value my life more than this guy's life, so I'm not going to jump on the grenade and save the whole squad." I'm not going to do that. That's a fear thing. It's a fear thing. They're saying that, oh yeah, we have to instill in them, that it's not about self. It's all about the group. It's all about being a unit, a team. No I in team. There's an I in win and victory though. So, but nobody wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about that. I have completely diverged from the main topic. I know, but I'm just giving examples of the ideas of selfishness in regard to especially Diddy's case and any case in America. This is the thing. Is the first thing that comes to people's mind. Oh, he was just selfish. He was just all about himself. He was just full of himself. He was self-centered and self-absorbed. Those are the good things that people say. If you say somebody's self-centered or self-absorbed, that's different than being selfish or self-interested. Self-centered means like you're irrational. You're thinking that the whole world owes you something, that you are completely, above everything and above everyone without earning anything. That's self-absorbed. That's self-centered. You're thinking the world revolves around you. That's the cliche that people say, but the idea is not to have the notion of being better than somebody else. You have to be the best. See, a lot of people that are self-absorbed and self-centered are better and say that they're better than you. I'm better than this. I'm better than that. That's Diddy to me, I think. His whole idea is saying, I'm better. I'm better. That's why he, is trying to get out of prison. He couldn't get out of jail 3 times. Put up $50 million. I would love to see the figures on that. I would love to see the figures on that. $50 million. 3 times. Denied 3 times. Has that in all of human history? How many people have put up $50 million for bail? I thought $500,000 for bail because I'm African was a lot. $1 million was like crazy to me. $3 million, like Lil Durk. I was like, damn, okay. That's not $50 million like Diddy, but we'll work with it. But that's the situation we find ourselves. We must have a clear-cut thought pattern regarding Diddy. That's it. That's what we have to do. I'm gonna read more from the story. Quote, the filing harshly criticizes Diddy for what he is described as false performative grief. I didn't even know that was a thing. See, this is what you could probably, sue somebody for nearly anything. False performative grief, publicly displayed in the aftermath of Wallace's murder. While he vowed publicly to spare no expense in honoring his slain friend. Behind closed doors, Burrowes alleges that Diddy and his attorney Kenneth Mesiles, these names, I swear to God, pressured him to hand over Wallace's final business contract, which had been carefully negotiated to provide Wallace greater financial autonomy. According to the suit, Diddy instructed Burrowes to alter the agreement to grant the Bad Boy founder 100% interest in Wallace's works. Burrowes says he refused to alter the document, but he was forced to hand it over. 100% interest in Wallace's works. I'm going to read this again. Quote, to the story. According to the suit, Diddy instructed Burrowes to alter the agreement to grant the Bad Boy founder 100% interest in Wallace's works. And if you're not familiar, I think I said this before, either Faith Evans or the late great Valletta Wallace has had access to Biggie's fortune. And at the time of Biggie's death and Notorious B.I.G's death, he was worth $10 million, or his estate was worth $10 million. By the time Valletta Wallace's death this year, just a few weeks ago, his net worth, his estate was worth $160 million. Now, I don't know if Faith Evans has control over that, or if Valletta Wallace just struck a deal with her or something like that, or if Diddy had all of it. I'm getting confused now. I'm getting, some mixed signals. It says, when the contract was returned, the lawsuit claims only the cover page and signature page remained untouched. The critical financial terms had been completely rewritten. This is a quote. Diddy said Biggie would be dead before giving back his publishing. This is a quote. That's not me saying it. It's a quote from an interview with Gene Deal on YouTube. So that is telling. Seriously telling. That shows a lot. That is powerful, because I think there was a moment in one of the documentaries that said about Biggie. He was just like, I'm just trying to get away from Diddy. He was telling that to his own inner circle without Diddy. Just, and then when after the shots, he was still alive after being shot. Just a few moments, he was still alive. He still had consciousness. He was just like, man, just make it, just let it get it over with or something. Just let it go. I'm not even into that, anymore. That's what I got from it. I could be wrong, but please correct me if I'm wrong. But so Biggie's death was like a catalyst for actually Tupac's death was a catalyst, and then Biggie's death further, crystallized the idea of Biggie being of Diddy being this man that could have orchestrated both Tupac and Biggie's deaths. Could have. So I have two people in here with 3 likes. I don't know how that works. So there is a great deal of grief and sadness that comes with everything. I mean, and I have to talk about karma. Karma is not the mystical. Just because of what you thought in your mind, and then that actually happens to you, or something like that, or something bad happens, or something good happens. It's not karma. It's actionable. It's things that you've done that correspond to the actions that are occurring to you right now. That's the facts. We have to understand that. We have to, look at that. We have to piece through that whole system. I'll continue with the article. When the contract was returned, further, Burrowes alleges that Diddy reneged on public promises to cover Wallace's funeral expenses, instead charging the entire cost to Wallace's artist expense account, saddling his estate and family with a financial burden. It's messy, child. It's messy. It's real messy. The suit argues that his actions ultimately deprived Wallace's mother, Valletta Wallace, and his children of the wealth and security Wallace had worked diligently to secure. Diddy was a gangster. Diddy is a gangster. You say all the things you want. Oh, he's a mogul. He's a this and that and super rap star or whatever. Hip hop legend. All these things. Maybe, but this is the law. The law doesn't give a goddamn what you did. On a record, on a video. They had those $500,000 videos. Anybody remember that? Am I that old? I don't even know if they make videos for that much anymore. I doubt they do. Maybe $100,000, maybe $200,000. He was making $500,000 videos, full movies, just to sell a product. Because music videos are not art. They are commercial elements. Just like commercials have writing, acting, directing, producing. Same thing as in art, but it's not. It's to sell an object, sell the music, sell the song. But they were extraordinary. That's why you had the VMAs, because they're extraordinary. I mean, they really capture the essence of whatever song may have been played. Just to give you an understanding of that. Excuse me. So I have 0 people, 3 likes. Not mad. This is the reality. Then the lawsuit, however, extends far beyond financial allegations, accusing Diddy of a decade-long pattern of sexual harassment, coercion, intimidation, and violence against Burrowes himself. It contends that Diddy weaponized his power at Bad Boy Entertainment to subject Burrowes to repeated unwanted sexual advances, physical aggression, ultimately forcing him to relinquish his 25% ownership stake in the company under threat of violence. Jesus. This nigga Diddy, I swear. This nigga Diddy. I mean, how many of there was the allegation of the young woman, which Jay-Z is going after now, rightfully so, because I don't think there was any merit to it. Like, she's forgetting her statements. Her dad didn't drive all the way there and stuff like that. Okay, but for Diddy, how many of these allegations are actually true? Can one of them, 2 of them out of 120, I think, or so, be actually the reality? Can that be a possibility? Is that true? That's what I have to, realize. We all have to realize how much truth is behind all these allegations. How much is reality? And it's very difficult to ascertain what is what and who is who. You have to pick apart what is right and what is wrong. But Diddy's defined, goddammit. Yes, he is. He had the 3 possibilities for being released from jail. He's saying he's not guilty of the criminal charges and not liable for the civil suits. That's some bold nigga stuff. That's bold. 4 likes, 0 viewers. Anyway, so he made it so in his own mind, like he said, I'm gonna just do whatever the hell I want to do. This is different. This is between this is why there's a fine line between selfishness and self-absorption. It's very clear on one side, But if you're not careful, you can be very self-centered and self-absorbed, which are wrong, which are evil. Selfishness and self-interest are good. Egoism, individualism, those are all virtues. And Diddy does not have those virtues. He's self-centered. He's self-absorbed. That's the difference. Once you're able to see this distinction between what is for the self and what is for glorifying, the idea of the self, there's a difference there. Because the self is just your own. Like, we are all individuals. You can't fight that. I remember in the Marine Corps, they said, "Oh, you just want to be an individual." Not to me, but I heard other people say that to them. "Oh, you just want to be an individual." Yeah, I am an individual. I can't want to be an individual or not. The idea is individualist. That's the ideaism, the ism, idealist or idealism. That's the difference. Whatever you have in that. So I think it is pernicious. It's evil to malign Diddy as somebody who's selfish in the sense of he's egoistic, because he's not. He's hollow. He's a hollow shell of a human being. Now, I don't know if he's guilty or not, but he's innocent right now. Free Diddy. Can't tell yet, but we will see in 2 months. That's all we got. We got 2 months already coming up to 2 months, and we'll see, if he's, see what happens, in the following weeks. It'll probably be in September, maybe August, maybe July, something like that. I don't know how long it's gonna play out, and we're not gonna be able to see it on the goddamn video. That's the sad part. That's a shame. Not gonna be able to see it on video, but we will be able to get the notes from various people, like the sexy Kundiff, Megan Kundiff. She is a great legal expert, or I mean, not an expert, but at least a legal associate, and she's great with urban legal woes, So I think that covers, whatever may happen in the courtroom, whatever may happen outside of the courtroom, all of that, everything that comes down to it. It may just be that much. Maybe that much power to her statements, that will bring about change in reality and whatever Diddy is on. So let me say this last part. Once hip-hop royalty, the legacy of Bad Boy Entertainment now faces scrutiny as Burrowes' lawsuit pulls back to the curtain on alleged dark dealings behind the scenes. As the accusations unfold, the story of Notorious B.I.G's tragic death continues to cast a long shadow over the hip-hop industry he helped define. That is serious. That is serious. Diddy has such a strange relationship with, the music industry and the people that are around him, the Hollywood industry and stuff like that. And I think this is the first time there were no Diddy parties after Academy Awards or Grammys or Golden Globes or anything like that. There were no Diddy parties. All the freak offs were off. he put it in his mind to say, you know, damn, I can't even come out there with the baby oil. I can't do nothing. I can't do anything. This is sad. This is the strangest feeling in my life. I'm locked up. Can't have my parties. Can't have my money. I'm just guessing. You know, if he reverted back to his childhood days and why they call him Puffy and call him Puff Daddy. He gets huffy and puffy and angry. His anger, he seriously needs some anger management management classes. He doesn't know how to control it. As we've seen with the Cassandra Ventura video, where he punches her and drags her, stomps her, kicks her. She just takes it all, knowing, you know, in the future this is going to be embedded in the minds of everybody that's related to this case. She knows that, like I said before, won't be able to be admitted, but it'll always be in somebody's mind. The jurors' minds are already set. Whoever the jurors are going to be, they're already, you know, thinking, yeah, well, Cassie, I mean, okay, so he says he's not guilty. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Well, you know. And what are the civil suits are going to say? What are they going to say? Tony Busby can't practice law in New York. So what is he going to do with all his various claims? What is he going to do? All the way around, it's just a sad situation because I actually liked it. Like I said, he was in my top 10 favorite rappers. And you can laugh at that all you want. You can laugh, ha ha, he he. He was in my top 10. I think he was like 9. Will Smith was number 10, and he got knocked out. Whoever got 10, Diddy, Cam was in my top 5 actually. But their performance at the Versus was like, can't give them a top 5 anymore. Jadakiss replaced it, top 5 Dead or Alive. This is off 1 LP. So Diddy claim the spot because he has rapped. Can he rap? Somewhat, sort of, kind of. But he had such a bravado. He had such bravado about him. He has such a bravura. He has such confidence. And the way he rapped, the words he said, got my billions up. Effing with them white folks, so I don't give a F because I'm richer than them white folk. Like, who says that on a track? Who would have the testicular fortitude to even relay that on a hip hop song? Diddy did it. And then he was talking about, you know, in Hate Me Now, die. Like, and in the video, he's spitting up Cristal, and he's got the, you know, Nas has got the fur coats on. They got the tigers in there. It's like, this is extravagant. This is like opening up your mind to possibilities you didn't really realize. You didn't even recognize all these things. You can do that? What? You can say that? Huh? What? He did it. He said it. Sadly, what he didn't say is got him in hot water. Got him in serious trouble. And there's no Johnny Cochran. No more Johnny Cochran. The late, great Johnny Cochran can't, you know, if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. That's some, you know, he can't say it. He's got this Angophilia guy. After one lawyer said, under mysterious circumstances, I can no longer, you know, work with this case or something like that. I was like, well, damn. Angofilo, I always miss his name. I always chop it up. He seems dedicated. He seems like he's ready to continue on with the case and continue on with granting Mr. Combs, as I should say now, Mr. Combs is day in court. But, with Takapina, he just came fresh off a win with ASAP Rocky. Will he be is it too late? I don't know the ins and outs and the specific legal terms of the various cases. But will he possibly step in? Takapina, he got a big win for ASAP Rocky. Can he do it for Diddy? I don't know how that works. I'm not sure if that can work exactly, but I wonder if Takapina could. Takapina is that so did you ever see the gun? Did you see the weapon? Did you see it was a pop gun? Like, he was slick and slip. He was slick. That man is smooth. He's smooth as ice. He's cold as ice. But he definitely laid out a framework for ASAP Rocky's case. Maybe Diddy might hire him. I don't know. That lawyer's out. Will another lawyer step in? So it's definitely just messy. It's all mess. It's all terrible. It's all horrific. Everything is a mess. Diddy has cornered himself, but somehow will he beat them charges like Rocky? And that's going back to the Jay-Z line. And because in real life, over 2 decades later, Rocky Mayers won the case. So that has double meaning now. It has a double entendre now. It's a metaphor. It's a simile and a double entendre now. We have to just, take in all this. We have to take in the trunk situation. We have to take in the, all the different angles. Like I said, what other people are just trying to, get a quick payday off of Diddy, because that was a win for Jay-Z. I don't know if it was a win for Diddy too much. It was like even. It just evened it out. But Jay-Z won. It was a win for Jay-Z and his legal team, because he was able to state that this person was obviously making things up. Obviously. Making up everything. Didn't know what time, didn't know where, didn't know how many hours driven. Oh yeah, they raped me though. Like, how dare you? And Jay-Z's countersuing for defamation of character that they brought against whoever this Jane Doe is. That he's leveling a suit against her or him or her. Well, I guess it was her, Jane Doe. Saying that he wasn't even there. That he couldn't even been there. So, will there be other people that will say, I shouldn't have lied on that. I was really on some other stuff. I shouldn't have brought that up. I shouldn't even have, I shouldn't even have thought of that. I shouldn't even have registered that at all. That's the reality of that. But that trunk case, that seems like a movie. That seems like something that happened in a film, and somebody wrote in a screenplay. He jumped into a allegedly, he jumped into a police cruiser and was escorted to a private plane in an airport and flown, I guess, to New York, because he knew that, gang members were on the prowl for him to take him out. He just, it's all about emotionalism with Diddy. It's all about the feeling. It's all about what you want to do when you feel like doing it, not what you want to do because you think of it, because you can plan on it, because you can use your mind. It's all emotional. It's not part of your mind that is cognitive. That thinks. Emotions are not tools of cognition, as the late great Ayn Rand would say. You have to put your thought before emotion. Emotions are beautiful, wonderful things. They are great estimators and lightning calculators of what goes on in your life. And you're able to express joy. You're able to express frustration. You're able to express anger because you thought through. I mean, your brain, like that, like very quickly understood the situation and could process what is going on that makes you want to feel sad, or makes you want to feel angry, or makes you want to feel triumphant, feel victorious. All these different things that happen in your own mind, in your head, and that is a telling part of what it is to be human beings. Diddy, sadly, always chose emotion. He always chose emotion. He's choosing emotion right now. He's choosing emotion as I speak, as he is confined behind bars. And time flies, kids. It's gonna be May 5th so quick. Cinco de Mayo. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be popcorn hour. Just like the ASAP Rocky, but more. This is bigger than ASAP Rocky. This is the trial of the century. Diddy is that big. Diddy's that big. He went from $10 million to $800 million in a matter of a few years. That's extraordinary. So this is huge. This is the 21st century version of the O.J. Simpson trial. That was the trial of the century for the 20th century. I'm sure before he died, he was looking for his wife and her friend's killer, and Nicole Brown, and that's it. Is it what is it? Hold on, Nicole Brown. Excuse me, Nicole Brown Simpson, and excuse me, I said that wrong. Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. I would imagine he was looking for the murderer before he died. Before O.J. Simpson died, he was looking for the murderer. I would imagine. Let's just say he was looking for the murderer. And Diddy, he'll say, he was looking for the baby oil. If the baby oil isn't slick, you must have quit. That's the reality that he has to live in now. That's the reality he has to live in now. I make jokes, yeah, ha ha, he about the baby oil and stuff like that, but I really wanted to get understanding that there's a difference between selfishness and self-centeredness, self-absorption, and self-interest. Self-interest and selfishness are obviously great, good things. There are good virtues to have. Rationality, of course, presupposes selfishness. That is the beauty of our human selves. We are individuals, but not every one of us are individualists. That's a fact. So this trunk issue, very cinematic, very dramatic. All allegations, not really factual yet, hasn't been proven in the law courts. But we shall see. This is Diddy entry number 45. junk in the trunk. I'd like to thank you for watching. Make sure you tell everybody about this video. Make sure you subscribe. Get my sponsors. My main man, Peng, LifeStrongApparel.com. Go there. Go for your sea moss needs, your raw sea moss, your purple sea moss, your sea moss gel, and snapbacks, and treats for the dogs. Also, when you go to purchase these items, when you go to checkout, make sure you put in SKYLER20, Skyler20, to get 20% off all your needs for LifeStrongApparel.com. Also, Beha Jackson, BEEJACKSON 5478 on YouTube. Make sure you get his subscriptions up. Make sure you go there. He's talking about sardines on the grill, near beer, fried chicken, and female strippers. If you like any and all of those things, make sure you check him out on YouTube, Beha Jackson. Also, if you're in the Call of Duty and first-person shooter games, make sure you check out Dot Focus, DOTFOCUS _. Dot Focus _. So he has a YouTube page. Make sure you get subscriptions up and enjoy his. He gets biz with the SIG, and he has a sniper rifle that gets the pink mist. So check him out and tell him that the silly guy SkySaunders sent you. All right, I appreciate everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you some other time. Take care.